But little did I know that this was like a one-way ticket to hell.
What was really his position in the church?
A pastor.
There is a hard quiz that he passed already
Yeah.
with God.
Once we got married, boom.
This is disaster.
For 6 years, I'm isolated. The first time he raped me,
What does it mean to rape a wife?
hitting me, uses his belt, now take off your clothes. Stop crying. Don't show any ounce of sadness. And when you get pregnant, you're going to be trapped.
This example was mentoring other people. How about your mom's reaction?
When I was a kid, I was there for her. And I would go running to help her.
It's the first time that you felt that important, being
Yes.
the reason of somebody's damage.
Yes.
And the reason of a mentor's damage,
Yep.
which makes you more important.
It's funny you ask that because no one's ever asked me that question.
Religious package is the most mean trap.
Kept looking behind. I'm like, he's coming. He is coming. And he said that to me. If you ever try to get away, I will find you and I will kill you and my family will cover it up.
And now we're telling your story today.
Yes,
and
we
I'm
are.
sure that this story will stay with everyone because it's a story of courage and pain. And with each and every detail in it, I mean, each and every detail needs an episode by itself. It was a long, hard journey that came up at the end with the hero we have here today.
You are so kind. Thank
Welcome,
you.
Anna. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. If I want to start by a question that is an easy and a hard one at the same time, if I ask you what went wrong, where would you go? From where will you start?
I'd say childhood. Childhood was where everything started on a wrong note because I was born into an environment that was violent, that was abusive, where everything was unpredictable. And my dad struggled with alcoholism, and so the atmosphere was scary at home. I didn't really have the best relationship with him. I didn't have the best relationship with my mom because she was focused on my dad. I was the only child. So I became this really quiet, timid girl who would just be going to school, coming back home, running into her room, trying to finish her homework really fast. And then by the time it was 9 p.m. and I knew that the things were going to change at home, I immediately just went into my bed. And I was like, I do not want to face the rest of this evening. So that was like the everyday situation that was going on at home.
Yes, when you talk about an alcoholic dad and a mom that is there to take care of him or to follow all his problems or to fix them maybe.
Yeah.
So you're the one who is forgotten.
Yeah.
But was it only that you're forgotten, or were you watching or witnessing things at an early age that are really hard on a child?
I would say forgotten, but also watching, witnessing, sometimes rescuing. So I would call myself the parentified child. There was a lot of pressure on me to be there and be called sometimes by my mom or by people, by friends, and say, oh, if you speak to your dad, he will change. So automatically they, bring me into that situation, which is really scary for me. And I never liked it. I despised it. But they would I would keep saying, no, I don't want to. But they would keep thinking that, oh, perhaps if his daughter would speak to him, he would listen. Not understanding that this is addiction, that there's a deeper problem.
So you were guilty of not speaking to him at the beginning. Or not, let's say guilty. You were accused of not doing the right effort.
Or rather just putting the pressure on me to just, go and speak to him. And I would not sometimes do that, or I would go and be very timid in front of him and say, please don't drink. And that would just be maybe once or twice.
Well, did you speak to him? Did you speak effectively to him?
No, never.
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 Regarding his issues, but never on all subjects? You didn't speak to him?
We didn't really have that kind of relationship because I saw him as this alcoholic. I was afraid of him. Let's put it that way. The person that I knew was the person I saw after he was drinking. And the person that he was after that he was drinking was not the best version of himself. So I was scared of him. And therefore, even when he was sober, it was hard for me to talk to him. I remember when I would need to go and ask him, can you take me to my friend's house? This would be the living room. And this is me, the bedroom. And I'll go to this is the wall. I'll be like, okay, Anna, let's go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, okay, I can't do it. Again, 1, 2, 3.
Just to tell him so?
Yes. And then I would find the strength, say, can you drop me to my friends? And he would just say, okay. But just to do that was like, I had to do 3 takes.
You were afraid of something that never happened, or anything happened so that you were afraid later on?
He never did anything to me, but I
Yes.
was just afraid of him. It was just the person that I saw, whether it was towards my mom, or just the person that he was when he was, when he was drunk. He would be very loud, very verbally abusive. But this was all directed towards my mom.
But in front of you?
But in front of me.
Yes.
And so therefore I was,
Physical abuse also?
yes,
He used to beat her?
he used to.
And what will you do as a child? We're talking about how old were you then?
As young as 3 or 4.
Have you ever forgotten this scene?
I still remember certain
Yes.
scenes. Yeah.
Okay, before moving to your chapter, which is really the most interesting one in this episode, you used to watch this. Would you intervene?
No.
So you just watch?
I would just close my door and go to sleep or put my headphones on. But of course, when it would come into my room, because there were many times where it would be like him wanting to do it in front of me because he wanted to prove a point. And this was just when he was under the influence. When he was sober, he was not like this. But when he was under the influence, it would be like, I need to tell Anna about you. And so it would come into my room. And that's when I'm there and I'm in my bed and I'm crying. Or if my mom screams my name and asks me to come help her, then I get up and go.
And you do what?
I just stand there, and my dad just seeing me there may stop for a minute.
He stopped when he saw you?
Yeah.
Oh, he stopped. He used to stop when he sees you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you love him?
I do.
Just a short answer.
Of course, it's not easy to say that. And I think for the longest time, I couldn't say that. But it helps that about, say, 12, 13 years ago, he apologized. He doesn't drink anymore. He's sober. And he apologized to me and he said, I know that whatever you went through and are going through is because of, what I did and my drinking issues. And that apology just changed everything for me.
You loved him after apologizing or before? I mean, he started, he was able to catch up with the image of the father that wasn't here before. Mm-hmm. He was able to catch up with this figure that was absent before?
He hasn't been able to fulfill that role completely. But he does the best that he can as per what he knows. Yeah.
You believe that he regrets?
I believe he regrets.
Yes.
Very much.
And how about your mom's reaction towards you after every problem or every clash or every round of beating? Was she reassuring you somehow? Telling good things about him, bad things about him?
It's funny you ask that because no one's ever asked me that question. And I don't think she ever reassured me. I don't think she ever said anything good or bad. I think, in fact, I was the one who once went to her and said, why don't you leave him? And she was silent. And then later she got angry at me, and it was very confusing to see why she was angry at me. But it felt as if like I had said something that was morally wrong. Like, how could you say that? And as if to say that in her mind, it was a given that no matter what happens in a marriage, you stick around. You're the wife, that's it.
Everything remains acceptable until we die in the arms of someone beating us.
Yeah.
And was she trying to find excuses for him?
Maybe excuses for herself. I don't think for him, because she has been hard on him. She does, fight back, take it out on him. But leaving was never an option for her. Like, there was not even a time where she went away for a short period of time.
Did she ever say that she's not leaving because you're there?
No.
She's not leaving because she's not leaving. Because good women never leave their place,
yes.
no matter what.
Yes.
Yes, this silly sentence.
Exactly.
Now give me your chapter. You said if you want to start answering what went wrong, you would go to childhood. You would see again or visualize again what happened in your place, which was not quite a home.
Yeah.
A warm home. You have
Yeah.
no siblings.
No siblings.
You were on your own.
Yes.
You were parenting your parents.
Yes.
One was abusive, the other was trying to play the passive.
Yes.
This is disaster.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see how this disaster make you do the most the most successful ever choice that you ever made in your life. You picked your husband, or he picked you, or the fate picked you both. Tell me about the story. How did it start?
Well, as you would imagine, when you're growing up in a house like that, you're looking for love and attention because you're not getting it at home. And so I was always a person that was looking for someone to give me that attention, whether it was from friends. When I became a teenager, it was from, dating guys. And then I would never get the love and attention that I needed. It just didn't feel enough because there was such a void, that it just really needed to be full. It was empty. And so even
it's a delayed hunger. It's never satisfied.
Yeah,
it's a delayed
exactly.
hunger. You try to make it up in a bit, but inside it's still void and empty.
Exactly.
Because you need it from the most important people in your life.
Yeah.
How was it? How was it like your behavior? I mean, when you say I was looking around for this, now Anna of today, which is much wiser and more in control. If you go back in time, what was the thing that you hated doing and you were really doing it just to please people or to keep them close?
I would lie, exaggerate. I would, if I told somebody that something bad happened at home, they didn't believe me, or they just were like, oh, it's, it happens. Then I will start adding more information that didn't happen.
To attract attention.
Yes, I did that. Until I saw that the person was showing me love and care, I would keep doing it. I would keep continuing. I'm like, no, it's not reacting. Why is this person dismissing me? Why are they not believing me? Why are they taking it so lightly? Like, why am I suffering? And what does this person, maybe they've never been through it. Maybe they think I'm lying. Maybe they think a lot of things, but they're just not reacting in a way that I'm expecting.
So I need to lie or dramatize?
Yeah, that's what I would do as a kid.
I love the confession. Okay, let's see how you find Mr. Wrong. How did you find Mr. Wrong?
Of course I found Mr. Wrong. And it's ironic how I found Mr. Wrong, because clearly before him, there were so many Mr. Wrongs. And then how old was I? I was 18. By then, everybody knew I was a disaster. Because growing up that way, the teenager I became, I was looking for love and attention. I am creating havoc with my lies, my need for attention. Suddenly they're like, you need to meet this guy. He's really amazing. He's one of our friends. He's coming from Australia.
Half the way is already credible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So to say Bible college was like, okay, already there is a impression of this person that, yeah, I'm sure he's helpful.
There is a hard quiz that he passed already.
Yeah.
With God.
Yeah.
Or with people around him. Or with people around him.
Both, yeah.
Yes. We tend to believe that religious people are more close to God than us.
Mm-hmm.
We have this illusion. So
Yeah.
coming from someone like you who was damaged,
Yeah.
it was really far beyond that even.
Yes.
Okay, how did it all start?
So they introduced me to him and they said, why don't you speak to him and maybe he can counsel you and you can tell him about what's been going on at home, about your relationship issues, all of these things, all of the brokenness that you're feeling. And I was like, okay. And they didn't say like it's like a traditional priest or someone. They said it's a person who went to Bible college. So immediately I'm like, it's a younger person. And they introduced me to him. So we went out. The first time we met, I've always been an observant person because I'm quiet. So when you're quiet, what do? You observe. And I would observe and I'm like, okay, he's tall, okay, good looking, very charismatic, wasn't talking to me that much, but there was something about him. He had a presence. And he had gone through some kind of personal issue in his life. Within their family, they had a death in their family. And so he was in a state of grief.
So drama attracts on both sides also.
Yes. And so a couple of times they kept bringing us together, like meeting as a group.
Yes, but they were bringing you together as for him to be as a mentor or a husband? I mean,
As a
what
mentor.
was the intention?
As a mentor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then suddenly he comes on one-on-one and he starts talking to me and he was so good. He asked all the right questions. He made me feel understood in ways that people haven't made me feel understood. So obviously my eyes and my ears are all open. I'm like, wow. And suddenly within like a few weeks, he's like, you know that I like you, right? And I'm like, really? And for the first time, the Anna that would always be going and latching onto someone who said they liked her was like, okay, but I don't know if I like you. And that was a very strange reaction from me who's looking for love. And he's like, I have spent a lot of time. We've spent a lot of time. We've been talking. So yeah. What do you think? Like, why don't we try dating? And I'm just like, no.
You said no.
I said no.
This is how much time has passed. How much time has passed before saying no? You knew him for how
2
long?
weeks.
Oh, this is a very short period.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said no.
I said no.
Why?
Because I don't know. He just didn't feel like my type.
You're talking physically or you're talking in general or the whole package?
The whole package.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not your type.
Not my type in the sense, I think.
You were not attracted?
I was just not attracted to him in that way. I think maybe for me it was like I need a bad boy rather than going for someone who is like more spiritual
wise,
and
yes,
good.
yes.
The good kind.
The coldly wise type, you mean?
Yeah.
So it was about your age and the choice at your age. It was not something about that you felt against him.
No.
Okay.
No.
So you said no, and
I said no. He got mad. In fact, he one day came to my building. He called me downstairs and he started getting very emotional. And he was like, I invested so much of time with you and this is how I never expected this. There's no point of me being here in Dubai. I should just leave the country. And I started feeling so guilty.
Guilt tripping again.
Yeah, full guilt trip. And I was like, I felt so bad. And I didn't say anything at that point. And I just went back home and I just said, I'm sorry, but this is how I feel. And I went back home. And for the next couple of days, he was just, if he ever called, he was just really sad. He wasn't talking much. And I was like, this is really weird. Like, no one's ever reacted this way or been so upset to not be with me. And so with that guilt, I finally said, okay, let's give it a shot. And I said to myself, well, if it doesn't work out, I can always end the relationship. But little did I know that this was like a one-way ticket to hell.
The motive was that he is, if we can say the verb, was guilt-tripping you from the very beginning, along with saying that you are the reason why he's damaged. You are the reason why he's leaving the country.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that you felt that important, being
Yes.
the reason of somebody's damage.
Yes.
And the reason of a mentor's damage,
Yep.
which makes you more important.
Yeah.
So, and you felt you want to give it a try,
Yeah.
but it was out of pity rather than out of love or out of empathy, let's say.
I think a little bit of empathy and guilt. Definitely not love, if I'm being honest.
Definitely not love at that time.
Yeah.
How old was he? What was the difference between you?
I think he was about
Age gap?
4 years, 4 to
Okay.
5 years.
Okay, so you were
Yeah.
the same age.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start going out now as a date.
Starts love bombing me, which is taking me out to dinners, to movies, buying me clothes, like anything that I need. He's there. If I go to university, he comes to pick me up. He's there like every second of every day, calling me. Like I've never received this kind of
Full attention.
full attention before. But then as he's doing all of this, he is so smart that he tries to tell me, well, if I have makeup on, like if he saw me like how I am today, he'd be like, you look better without makeup. Just take off your makeup. Why do you need to wear makeup? Like, and we're going out. So he's trying to tell me that makeup.
Of course, not that your natural beauty is is better. He was trying to be to make you look less pretty in the eyes of others, maybe.
Well,
or is
actually,
it possession?
Well, there's that control, but there's also the whole religious aspect of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to come across to me like this religious fanatic and say, you know what, in our belief or religious belief, we don't wear makeup and we don't wear jewelry and we don't dress like this and we don't do this and this and this. He knows that if he does that with me, I'm going to say, please, like, this is not happening. So he finds a way to do it in a very creative way by telling me that, look,
He's smart.
yeah, he's smart.
But saying it out of a religion, the religious environment, if it doesn't accept this and that,
Yeah.
until now it's fine. He can even say it so. But what came later was not of a really religious aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. It started with you're saying that this was a signal to you? This is a small signal saying
Yeah.
that.
It was a small signal, but it was strange because these signals I started to see that he was starting to get angry if I wasn't listening to him. So, for example, the first time that I got really scared was when, I wore a pair of earrings.
Yes.
And I went out and we were meeting friends and he picked me up. As I was getting out of the car to go into the restaurant, he saw my earrings on my ears. And he said to them, why don't you guys go ahead? We'll be back. And they were like, okay. And from the look in the review mirror, I knew that that he's not happy. So he takes the car, he goes to a parking lot where there's not many people, and he asked me to come to the front seat. And Sunny's like, why are you wearing these earrings? I told you not to wear them. And I said, well, we're going out and I just wanted to wear them because obviously I'm a normal human being, a girl. And he's like, yeah, but I told you not to wear them. Why are you upsetting me? And Sunny started getting really angry and he started hitting his head against the window. Okay, he just started hitting his head. He was like, oh, you don't want to listen to me? And he starts like hitting. And I got so scared and I was screaming in the car. I'm like, stop it. What are you doing? And he's just hitting his head. And I said, here, take them. I will never wear them again. And then he stops doing that. And finally we go near my house. We were next to my house. He gets out of the car and he collapses.
He collapses?
He collapses.
Okay.
I don't know whether that was a fake collapse or a real collapse.
Was this all acting or was this something not voluntary? I mean,
It was acting.
it was acting?
It was,
Even the hitting?
Yeah.
It was acting?
I mean, he's acting in the sense he was really hitting his head. He
Yeah.
was really
I know,
hurting
I know.
himself.
To make you believe it.
Yeah, to make me scared, to make me not do that again. To not wear a pair of earrings. It's obnoxious.
For you to see the consequences of your bad behavior.
Yes.
Of you not listening to what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
And so then he's like, don't tell anybody what happened. Tell them I have low blood pressure and that's why I fell. And I'm in a state of shock. I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, see, Anna, see what you did. Look what you did. This person is lying on the ground because of you. And they took him to the hospital, and I don't know, the next day is like, oh, they said he got some kind of diagnosis of like, I don't know, epilepsy or something, which is all crap. It doesn't make any sense because you are literally banging your head. It's not like you had a convulsion or something like that. So
you mean medically speaking?
Yeah.
Medically speaking, it's proven it's a lie.
Yes.
So he was acting.
Yeah.
But he wanted you to feel guilty.
Yes.
And he wanted you to be all the way ready to implement all the orders, or the implicit or explicit orders.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Starting in a good way.
Yeah.
And then you got married.
Yep.
But let's not, before reaching there, these weren't signs enough for you to escape. Finding out that someone can lie to that extent.
You know, that's a really good question. And if you ask me, did I not know? Yes, I knew that I had my doubts, but I was not 100% sure. There was confusion because he was what we call today gaslighting me.
Yes.
In the sense that when I would say things, he would spin it around, and then I didn't know whether I needed to believe myself. If I'm crazy, what he's saying is right. Like, what's going on here? There was like half of me that was believing him and half of me that was believing my intuition. But unfortunately, the stronger part was the one that was believing him, because it was like, look, he's showing you love and attention. By love and attention, my definition of love and attention was like him taking me out and buying me things, spending time with me.
Title of my pain.
Yeah.
Using the title of my pain.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're getting this versus staying here at home where it's hell. So maybe this is a better hell or a better situation. It's not perfect, but it's better. And I also had a comparison of looking at my parents and being like, well, every relationship seems to have problems, and this seemed a little familiar. And so I think in every grain of my body, I went towards what was familiar eventually.
Yes, of course. Speaking the same environment, not going to the strange change, even if it's better.
Yeah.
Let me stick to what I know.
Yeah.
So how many incidents like this one was there before marriage?
About 4 or 5.
You are crazy.
I really think I am or was.
Did you tell anyone about them?
You know, it's funny. There were people seeing this and nobody was actually coming out to me and saying, Anna, this is not okay. This is the funniest part. They were like, listen to what your intuition, or listen to what is God telling you to do. Like, I don't know what God is telling me to do. He's not speaking to me. Like at that time I'm 18 years old. I'm like, what are you saying? And so I could see their response, their reaction. They don't like it. I don't know if they were even afraid of him to some degree.
Is it because he's a religious man? He has a certain energy around him. People would tend to believe that he is more sacred, clean.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go there. He doesn't have the intention.
Yes.
And this is not intentional. This is not to hurt you.
Yeah. It is to protect me for my good.
What was really his position in the church?
A pastor.
Yes, and this made him more credible to people without even knowing him.
Yes.
Okay, so you were blamed if you have the intention to change this or to leave. In a certain way, blamed.
Yeah.
Were they your friends or parents? Or
They were
both?
common friends because he had isolated me from all my old friends. So
What do you mean isolated you? How is this done practically?
He told me that they were a bad influence in my life. And so one day he comes and he's like, I got you a new SIM card. You can change your number. You know, new life, new relationships, new friendships. Say goodbye to the old life. And I remember I was crying and he didn't care. He was just changing the SIM card and he took my SIM card away. And I don't know why I didn't fight for my rights at that time. Like, I look back now and I'm like, Anna, why didn't you? I just let him. Inside I was dying. I was like, this is not okay. How can he just take my friends away? What will my friends think? Where I am? What am I doing? If I'm okay? And a lot of people wondered if I was okay. But he didn't care. And if somebody tried to call me, the calls were forwarded to his phone. So he picks up. And some of them would, you're a teenager, like, where's Hannah? And he would get mad. And he's like, these are the kind of friends you have? And then again, the abuse starts. And one of the things he would do is road rage. So he would purposely, if we were in the car, he would
drive fast
and then suddenly brake. So making me feel as if we're going to ram into another car. And one day we did get into, it wasn't a bad accident, but it happened.
Psychological pressure.
Yeah, and I don't drive today because of that.
This is another issue that I shouldn't be forgetting now. But before going there, you left friends for him.
Yeah.
And what was your argument when any one of them asked you?
Well, no one could get in touch with me.
Did you believe that they are not good for you? What he said, I mean?
No, I didn't believe it.
No one tried to see you of your friends?
People tried to, nobody came to my house, but because not everybody knew where I stayed. But people tried to call me on my mobile phone, and they were getting connected to him. So there was, and at that time there was no Facebook.
Yes.
None of that.
You didn't have one single advice against him.
The only person who said something to me is my mom, but she never said that this is wrong. She said that I don't like how you come home every day crying or you're upset. And, she was like, I'm sure he's a good person, because obviously there's that impression of, again, spiritual leader.
The image.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not okay. And for some reason, I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to listen to her, of all the people that she was telling me, because it didn't make sense coming from her. From her, I thought it was that, oh, you don't want me to be happy.
Yes, because you're saying to her that you've always been there and you stayed.
Yes.
You're so egocentric. You're only selfish. You don't want me to be happy about a partner.
You just want me
here. You're the last
here.
one who can tell me what to do. As if you're saying this to her.
Yeah, yeah. It just felt like that she wanted to keep me there.
Very disturbed relationship with your mother.
Yes. It gets worse.
Yes. Why?
Well, it's a twisted... it's a twisted story in the sense of eventually the person who wasn't for this marriage ended up supporting my own abuser.
She was supporting him. What do you mean supporting him? I mean, supporting him or supporting the idea that you should stay together? It's different.
Well, after the 6 years of being married, that's when she started supporting him in terms of, you need to be married, you need to stay with him, he's a good man. The script flipped and she was for him. She turned against me because I left.
You think he was able to convince her that you were the one who's guilty at this point?
Of course.
How?
He would tell her that, she's not a good person. He would bring up like my past relationships. He would say she's an adulteress. She's, going around and sleeping with people. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to actually practically do that when you are hovering around me all the time?
You know what, I can conclude that part of his complexes is also related to taboos and religion in a way, and illusions and things that he makes himself see. I mean, maybe they're not there. Maybe he's ill. Maybe he's sick.
It's possible.
From what you're saying,
Yeah.
I mean, this religious side didn't play well in the whole history because he wants to be good, as religion says.
Yes.
And he wants to control you.
Yeah.
To him, as the religion says.
Yes.
So, but it seems like a golden jail, as we say, or pretending to be golden even.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go there now to your mom. I want to continue the story. You said that you have experienced this car crash, and you experienced the signs like the earring story and all this before marriage.
Yeah.
All this was before marriage.
Yeah.
What made you do this huge leap, the huge step later on? What made you go into this cage after seeing all this? How did you reassure yourself to make this step?
I just didn't want to be at home anymore. I went through that for 18 years. And to me, my goal was to get out of there because I couldn't take it anymore.
Did he make any promises at that point? Or do you remember anything that pushed you to do the step from his side? Was he worried that you're starting to see something that you shouldn't be seeing?
I was scared. And he was pushing. So he was really like telling me things, again, guilt tripping me and saying that, because of who I am, I need to get married. Society is looking at us. They see us in the car together going to places, and it's not right. So I need to get married. My reputation.
Okay,
all
is
of
at
these
stake
things.
because of you.
Yes. And so she's like, anyways, in a relationship, we just get married. Like he was putting it across as, it's no big deal.
So you got married after a year?
Yeah.
A year, you got married.
Yes.
Okay, let's start the main chapter now. How long did you stay married?
6 years.
What is the most appropriate title to this chapter?
Burning fire.
Burning fire.
Yeah.
Anna, since the mask fell way before the marriage, what was still there? Other masks? How
So
many
many.
masks fell
Countless.
until you found the whole truth?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it. I'm all ears.
Well, first, when I got married, he neglected me. So it was more like all of this time he's love bombing me. He's trying to capture my attention, get control over me. Once we got married, boom. He does his own thing. We used to live with his family. So he loved his Xbox, PlayStation. He would play. He would not care if I'm okay. Like, how am I adapting? How am I adjusting to the culture? We're both from the same country, but we still have different cultures. He's not checking in with me. And he would just do things, and it just felt as if we were friends. And he was just going about his life. And I was just feeling so alone in that marriage. And one day what happened was I was doing some cleaning. There was a phone charger, and I didn't have anything behind me. So I was standing on a stool. I got on the stool, I went to the cabinet, I removed the phone charger, and I wanted to throw it back on the bed. What happened was it went and hit his face. And he gets mad at me, and he comes and he slaps me, and he's like, don't ever do that again. And I was shocked. And that was the first time he ever slapped me. And I said to him, I didn't do it on purpose. I meant to just put it behind on the bed because there's no one to help me. And it unfortunately landed on your face.
There wasn't any arguing before. There wasn't any communication before we did that. So why should he believe that you did this on purpose?
Exactly. And he just did that and he left. the room, and I was just sitting there in shock, and I just started crying. And then he just started going about like normally and the usual thing. And one day I said, I need to speak to my friend. I said, I think I made a mistake. I think I want to go back home.
After this is during the first year of marriage?
Yeah.
But before going there, did you continue working during this period? Studying during this period? Something to do on your own? I mean, any activity that you've been, or you staying at home?
Staying at home.
Because he doesn't like you to go out.
Yeah.
So you gave up on your dreams.
I had taken a break from university because...
I mean, you gave up on your future, on your dreams is with dreamy. But
Yeah.
on the regular you gave up the regular future.
Yes, I did.
You intended to work before.
Yes, I did.
And to continue your studies.
Absolutely.
You were at which point, studying or ready to work?
I was studying.
And you stopped studying?
Yeah.
You stopped the university?
I stopped university.
What was his reason or his alibi to tell you to stop?
He was like, I stopped on my own because my dad was unwell. This was
Yes.
around the time we were dating. But when I was ready to go back and we were married by then, he didn't allow me. He's like, no, there's no need for you what do you need to study? You're taken care of. There's no need to study.
Was he rich, of a good status, financial?
He was pretty okay.
So we're talking about someone religious with money.
Yes.
And the right combination to see if you want to feel safe.
Yes.
And pampered.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be something else.
Yeah.
So we should really, your story will inspire a lot of people. A lot of people, how we pick the right partner sometimes.
Yeah.
How we're blinded by certain things that are effectively absent. They're not there.
Yeah.
Okay. And how we attribute adjectives, clean adjectives to a certain person through something that he wants us to see and not the real truth.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you thought about telling your friend that there's something wrong going here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I met her. I told her. And that was the worst mistake I could have ever made. Because after we sat at a coffee shop, I talked about it. About 30 minutes, it was not more than 30 minutes he could leave me by myself. So
30 minutes only? He leaves you by yourself,
yeah.
Okay.
And he picks me up. By the time we reach home, she has told her partner, and her partner has called my husband at the time.
With which intention? Helping the couple cover
yes.
all the problems.
Like, what's going on? I heard.
Let's help them.
Yeah, like I heard like things are not okay. And Anna said that she's considering a divorce.
Yes.
And as soon as he put the phone down, he was enraged. He was enraged that he took my phone. He's like, did you say this to them? It's like, what did you say to them? And he was not really letting me speak. It was just like question after question just coming out. And then he takes my phone and he smashes it on the wall. So the phone's broken. There's a crack on the wall. And he's like, you will never have a phone again. And of course, by then I'm like, what is happening here? And then his cousin was at home when this was happening. He closes the door. His cousin is in the next room. He turns up the music so the cousin doesn't hear anything. Starts screaming at me, starts calling me names, starts hitting me. You know, uses his belt, uses the pillow. And then towards the end of it, it was almost as if, not almost as if, he was like, you know, take off your clothes. And I was stunned. And by that time, I'm just crying, but there's no voice coming out of me. I'm in so much of shock that I cannot scream.
All stuck here.
All stuck. And when he saw my face, I don't know what stopped him, but he's like, oh, what did you think? I'm so bad that I'm going to do something to you. It's like, it's okay. And he's like mocking me. Then the doorbell rings and it's his parents. So he's like, act normal, stop crying, don't show any ounce of sadness.
You work by buttons. We turn you off, we turn
Yeah.
you on.
Yep.
You cry now, you stop crying now.
Yep. No, actually,
A machine.
you don't cry at all.
You don't cry at all. In front of people specifically.
Yes.
Because he's the angel living with you. Why should you be crying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so his parents came, like, go and get me a glass of water, because he wants it to seem like it's a normal
perfect.
evening.
Yes.
And he's like, get me a glass of water. He comes. He says hi to his mom. Everything's fine. He's totally calm. Closes the door. I just go to sleep. When the lights go off, that's when everything starts surfacing for me, and I'm crying in my pillow. I'm just, I don't know what to think. I'm like, what am I going to do? What have I gotten myself into? I said, I need to get out of here.
First moment of regret.
Like,
not the first even, but maybe the most clear one.
yes.
First decision at this point to start working on going out?
Yes.
You took this decision at this point.
Yeah.
So you're not your mom trying to correct what's happening, try to do better at home. Maybe I shouldn't be making him angry not to beat me.
No.
Okay, you missed an essential part that I need you to talk about it boldly. You were sexually abused also.
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean to rape a wife?
It is to not have consent. It is to not ask your wife whether she wants to have sex. It is to
how
just...
does it feel inside you? How does it feel? I mean, what were you experiencing of types of feelings, of thoughts, self-perception after it, the way you looked at him after it?
I hated him. I was disgusted by him. I was enraged. There was no ounce of any love left. It was... I could not stand him.
He even didn't try to make this intimate relationship as a way to apologize or come close or show love. It was always as if I'm the one who's dominating. I decide everything. You're just a toy here.
It was a form of punishment.
Also.
And it was also a form of threatening or blackmailing me that I'm going to get you pregnant. And when you get pregnant, you're going to be trapped because you're going to have a child, and you can't get out of this.
You wouldn't leave?
No. And he said it to me as well.
So was this the reason why you tried not to have a child?
Yeah, I didn't want to have a child. And to be honest, it's a blessing because I wasn't on any contraceptives. It is just a blessing that I didn't get pregnant.
And it's the psychological rejection, maybe.
Yeah.
If I want to be a bit of a...
Yeah.
Talk a bit of a philosophy. It doesn't apply to everyone, but this rejection has an impact somewhere.
Yeah.
It was a big one, it seems. Big rejection.
Absolutely.
During these 6 years that you were married to this person, was there any moments of reconsidering? Or maybe he is good sometimes. Maybe he is nice sometimes. Maybe I should really reconsider this hatred that came up. Maybe he wanted me there. That's why he treats me this way sometimes.
Never.
Not a single moment that made you reconsider leaving.
Never. And I think a lot has to do with that first time that he abused me, which we just talked about, him smashing the phone. And also the first time he raped me, which was not too long after. I believe it was within maybe a year after we got married. That was it. That was it for me.
So the 6 years were a black road all the way.
Absolutely. Absolute black road.
And was he facing any embarrassment? I mean, when a couple are not doing well together or someone is abused, you can hide this for a year or two, but you cannot hide it forever. When you see other people, his friends, his family, his direct family even, did they recognize anything wrong?
Yeah, people were recognizing because I couldn't hide it all. Like you could see from my face, I would be crying every now and then. My weight was dropping. I was, I think, size 0 at some point. I was not eating properly. I was pale. I looked anemic. I looked sad. And after a while, I was trying to tell people because I needed help. I reached that point of, I need to get out. This is dangerous situation. And even the day after the first rape happened, my eyes were all, my full face, it looked, I was a disaster. And people were just staring at me like, what happened to you? And no matter who I told, I was scared to tell, but no matter who I told, there was never a point of, you need to leave this marriage. You need to get out for your safety.
No one said it.
Nobody.
Why? Do you think why? You were surrounded by people that traditional, I mean? Or that, looking at marriage as if it's unbreakable or at any reason?
Yeah,
Under
because
any reason?
what God has put together, let no man separate. I mean, that's a verse in the Bible, so...
Yes, but it's translated in a different way. It's translated, I don't want to intervene in the explanation, but no one would accept it. Mostly God won't accept that you stay in trapped there. You will die at the end.
Yes. But I guess people always have that tendency to pick up on whatever they want to and twist it and put a spin on it.
The real good work done in religion is that the way out or the exit when your life is at stake.
Yeah.
At this point, even the religious man won't accept that you stay there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous decision to keep you inside.
Yeah.
So 6 dark years, not working, not studying, not seeing your parents or your friends.
Seeing parents only with him, talking to parents with him next to me.
With the guard.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time.
No phone?
I had phone, like I'd have it sometimes. Then if I was a bad girl, it'd be taken away again. Then I'd get it, be taken away again. Then I had a laptop because he wanted me to do design work, but for him and, his work. So he would put spyware on my laptop. So he was monitoring what I was doing, which website I was going.
He was afraid that you go out of the control zone.
Yeah.
You should stay inside.
Yes.
Because he's finding his manhood this way. Or maybe he's finding his satisfaction by controlling someone.
Yes.
But he was doing his religious job regularly.
Absolutely.
Mentoring other people.
Yes.
This example was mentoring other people. And what were your thoughts at this point? I mean, this good example in the eyes of the whole society and community is the monster living with you at home.
I was baffled. I was shocked. I was like, how blind are people? How are they looking at this situation and just believing everything he says just because he has a title? Is it because he's a man? Is it because he has a religious title? Is it because he has power? Why is it so easy to believe him and not me? And why is it that when you're helping somebody, you have to do it on your terms? So it's like if I say, I went to them like, I'm abused, I need to get out, I want to go back home. I'm not saying I want to run away with someone else, I want to do anything stupid. No, I want to go back to my house.
Being married to a religious man, a special religious man, so not to be hard on the others.
Yeah.
Did you ever question God? Sorry for the question.
That's okay. My relationship with God got stronger, actually, because he was the only person I could speak to. I'm isolated. I don't have friends. So when I'm sitting in that bedroom with him, who do I have? I need to talk to someone. I can journal. I used to journal. I used to have my Bible. I would write in that. I still have those pages today. I would talk to him. I would pray.
If I want to move now to Anna, the woman who finally took the decision to go out, and now time to practically doing it, packing and leaving.
Yeah.
Tell me this story and how hard it was.
It was, whew. I tried to leave, I think, 2 times. First was telling my mom and my dad. Didn't work because they were like, no, you need to make this work. You got married. What will society think? You see what I've done with your dad. I'm still married to him. Everyone goes through this. I wasn't getting help. That one glimmer of hope that I had, gone.
So you tried his parents or just yours?
Just mine. I mean, I did try his parents, actually.
It didn't work?
No, his dad especially started blaming me. So he was like, you, I don't want to use the bad language.
You triggered the problem.
In my son's life. You ruined my son's life.
You triggered the anger, yes.
And while he's telling that...
You ruined his life.
Ruined his life. And at the same time, my husband is using the moment to his best advantage and he starts fake crying in the back seat. The way to think that way, that, oh, my dad is now screaming at my wife, so to make the intensity up, let me start crying. And on the phone, he's called somebody so they can also hear that he is the heartbroken husband and the wife is this worst person on earth. So they will feel pity for him. And I know he's fake crying because who else would know him better than me? The person who is with him 24/7.
So poor guy, he's living with the wicked witch.
Yes.
Yes.
Poor guy.
Did you ever think about, for example, did you ever get depressed or thought about taking your life?
Yeah.
But you said you were close to God.
I was close to God, but just because I was close to God didn't mean that it rid me of human emotions. I was very depressed. I would not sometimes wash my hair. Like I reached a point after a couple of years, I was not washing my hair. I would put my hair in the sink and open the tap, wash it, put shampoo. That's how I would wash my hair sometimes. I would wear the same thing over and over again.
What does this mean to you? I mean, psychologically, what does this mean?
I was depressed.
Yes.
As hell.
And you thought about suicide even?
I thought and I acted upon it.
You did?
I did.
How many times?
Twice.
What did you do?
The first time I took pills, mixed pills. I got, of course, really, really sick and I was throwing up for a couple of days. But they never took me to the hospital. They just let me get well at home. And the second time, again, it was pills, but by then I had already just passed out and woke up the next day.
What was his reaction when he was confronted of a possibility of suicide because of his behavior? What was his reaction?
He said, I wish you had died.
I wish?
You had died. Or actually, no. It would have been better if you had died.
This is his reaction?
Yes. Because there's this wife who's ruining his reputation, right? By trying to leave and end the marriage and telling people that he's abusing his wife. So it's better if she would have died.
And who knew this answer? I mean, there is no other authority in this place. There's no other authority to tell them, no other authority to go to. If someone is wishing you death because of what you did, this is what they say.
There were just 2 people when he said that, and they were both minors, one of whom, and I don't want to get too much into this because I want to respect this individual, but it's important for me to say that he was abusing not only me, but another individual as well, who was a minor at the time, and he was...
When you say abusing, what?
He was sexually abusing her, and
a minor,
and grooming her, in the sense of, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, I need you to spy on my wife, I need you to report to me. And in return, of course, he would do many things for her, give her whatever she needed. And at the same time, he was taking advantage of her, sexually.
But this is what I meant by my question. There is no authority looking at this?
Well, clearly nobody had the guts to say anything, and it's appalling. Honestly, if people were strong enough to say something and do something, they would have saved years of trauma for me, for that girl, and for many other vulnerable people who were going to his church, and they were young people.
How did you know about her?
Because she was around all the time.
Yes.
And
she told you?
She never told me because she was on his side.
Yes.
But I wasn't stupid. I could see. She would sometimes be sleeping in our bed, but he would put it across as, she's a young girl. She's here for Anna, not me. And we're just taking care of her. She needs guidance. So
did you ever talk to him about that?
I did. And when I would talk to him, he would tell me I'm crazy, I'm imagining things, again, gaslighting. And sometimes when I was very close to knowing what's going on, he would then pretend that he was against her. He's like, she's a stupid woman, but he knows that I'm never going to go and tell her that. So he'll say whatever he wants to say to make me believe that nothing is going on. Or he would be really nice to me sometimes.
Because he needs to protect himself from what you know.
Yes.
He might be abusing lots of people. He might have lots of victims. This, like a character like that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes when a person like that abuses you in that way, you don't even know you're being abused. And that is the most dangerous part. That you only realize it after you've gotten out of that. I mean, for me, I realized when I was in it. But that specific individual, and I believe other individuals, did not believe, and they were not accepting that they were being abused. They were on his side. They were for him.
What he transmits as an image is much stronger for you to doubt yourself than to doubt him.
Yeah.
Than to even look at the facts, not even just doubting. I mean,
yeah.
He can make you doubt what you're seeing effectively.
Absolutely.
Doubt reality.
You think you're crazy.
He's too tough. He's too tough and too smart. It's his game at the end.
Yes.
But he's trained. He is dangerous to all the community, not just you.
Yes.
Especially coming from a religious background.
Absolutely.
So he can bring in his victims easily.
Yes.
Take me back again to the point we shifted from the day you took the decision that finally I'm going to pack and leave. You confronted him. You left without him knowing. How was it? You left to your parents again, to your mother who tells you every time go back, and we don't have such a thing called divorce here. So how was it? What was this day?
Honestly,
yes.
I gave up. And I thought I was going to die there. But when I lost all hope, By 2010, I lost hope. Suddenly, there was a couple that came into the church. And one day she just shared that she was a domestic violence survivor herself. And my eyes just opened. Because that was the first time I'm hearing those words.
He was with you?
Yeah, it was in a setting and he was there. There were a couple of other people.
Of course, he was cursing bad husbands at that point.
Yeah.
The typical comedy.
Yes. And within 1 week, I said to myself, I am going to tell her. She's the last person I'm going to try. And as with everyone, he does this thing. When a new person comes, he takes them out to dinner. He does the thing where he's really nice to them. He captivates them so much so that...
solidifying the image of the nice guy, the generous guy.
Absolutely. And so...
the outgoing person.
He took us out and she was there. And we were at Dubai Mall, Dubai Fountain.
Yes.
And I said, can you come with me closer to the fountain? I want to see it up close. And she said, yeah. And I go there and I tell her in like 2 sentences. I'm like, you remember what you shared one day? I said, I'm going through the exact same thing. I said, can you help me? That's all I said. And her eyes just opened wide and she said, She said, yes, I'll help you. And that was the first time someone just said yes without any conditions, without saying, I'll help you like this. I will speak to him. I will tell him not to hit you. Or I will tell him that you both go to a therapist. No, it was just yes, because she understood. There was finally a person who understood.
Who knows that there is no solution. There's no way out with these people.
And she said to me, she said, you need to get out because either you will kill yourself again.
Or he will kill you.
Or he will kill you.
Yes.
That's exactly what she said.
Yes.
And it's true because a few days later we were in the car and he said that to me. If you ever try to get away, I will find you and I will kill you and my family will cover it up.
He said all that?
Yes, he said that to me.
And you're going on with an interview now. He'll kill us both. No,
well,
I'm just joking.
I know.
Now, I don't want you to get really emotional. I want you to say it all, but I want to say it all without missing any detail.
Mm-hmm.
He threatened you directly.
Yes.
And you didn't tell anyone. You didn't go to any authority, police, whatever. Weren't you afraid of getting killed at any point?
I was afraid, but by then I saw that whoever I went to help for, they were not helping me. I was going back and getting beaten some more because the people were putting me in more trouble.
Yes, so hell is my only place, which will become more hell if someone intervenes.
Yeah, so if I tell someone, please don't tell him, they still tell him because they don't understand. Nobody even understood what abuse is or how to deal with somebody who is an abuser.
Why people, they believe that they have an impact on someone who is an aggressor like him? I mean, why would you believe that you can change him through a certain discussion or talk or blame or whatever, or directing him? These people don't change.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't change. And if they do, after a long way of treatment and loss.
Yes. Yes.
So she told you, I'm there for you, I'll help you.
Yeah.
And then?
And then I started taking my documents, slowly giving them to her in small bits and pieces. So sometimes she would come over. She knew how well to play the game. And by then I had become an expert as well because I learned from the best, my ex-husband.
Yes.
And so I knew how to play the game. I knew how to be nice to him. Like everything is normal.
Playing the obedient, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And she would send me emails and we had code words. So
because everything was monitored and watched. Yes.
Yeah. So there were code words for
He didn't have any suspicion against her?
He had a slight, but it wasn't that
clear or that enough to...
Yeah. Because by then I failed enough of times to know that what I should do and not do. Like I became an expert by that point. Like 5 years was a good time for me to learn from my mistakes. And so we communicated in a very good way. She would say, I'm coming home to like work. And that's when I would put stuff in her bags, like just important things. Not even that many clothes, nothing. And I used to hide money under my bed, right? So I didn't make any money. But sometimes, people for your birthday or for an occasion, they give you like some money. That money, I would never spend it on myself. I would hide it. So after...
why would you have? For what's coming, you mean?
Yes.
But he wasn't giving you any money also?
No.
So you were deprived of all the tools that can bring you out or get you in contact with anyone.
Yeah. No financial... I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have an insurance card. I was not allowed to work. I was not allowed to study. So...
And I was beaten, I was raped, I was forbidden from communication with whoever, and he wanted me pregnant because he knows well how to raise kids. So we're repeating the same misery again.
Yes. And
your father didn't understand all this. Your father specifically. Watching this happening to you.
I don't think he knew too much because my mom was not telling him everything.
But you picked her to tell her, not him.
Yeah, because my mom would come to the church, or my mom would come to see me. My dad was still struggling at the time
Okay.
with his alcoholism. So I had more access to her.
So I don't want to miss the story. So you were exchanging papers with notes with this woman?
Yes.
In a subtle, discreet way?
Yeah.
And when action happened?
And I gave her the money and I said, look, I am scared. I do not have any way of booking my booking a room, booking anything. I said, what do I do? What do we do? Do I go to the police? Do I go to a shelter here in Dubai? What do I do? And she was kind enough to do some research. Police, I did not agree because I was like, what if I'm sent back home? What if he goes to the police station and he starts crying?
He starts his theatrical
his
performances.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oscar winning, which
Yes,
I call it Oscar winning.
Of course.
And I said, what if he does that? I come back home, who knows, I will be black and blue. So I was not willing to take that risk. Secondly, can we go to a shelter? At that time, today we have Dubai Foundation for Women and Children. But at that point, I don't think it was existing, or it was still in the beginning stages. I didn't know much about it. For some reason, I was just not willing to stay in the same country. So finally, we went to the next step. She started contacting nonprofit organizations in India, which is where I'm originally from. And she contacted 5 or 6, out of which 2 responded, and 1 responded very positively and said, if Anna can make her way here, we will help her. That's all they said. So the place was in Delhi, New Delhi, India. She's like, that's where you're going? I said, okay, I'll go anywhere. Take me to the moon, I'm going there as well. And so she booked my ticket. And they even did a run, like a test run, of how long it would take from the house to the airport to calculate it, because we all know that he hardly gives me time alone to myself.
He gives you only 30 minutes, as you told me.
Yes.
And how much the time to reach the airport?
Yeah, so I think I can't remember what they calculated, but it was pretty decent. Around less than 20 minutes or something was from Sharjah.
like movies. It's exactly like movies.
Yes. And but here's the best part. I don't have my passport.
Okay.
My passport is under lock and key in his father's bedroom.
In his father's bedroom?
In a drawer.
Because you lived at his parents', as you said. Yes.
Locked. So I'm like, how am I going to leave the country without my passport? And so we're planning, but I'm just like, passport, I need somehow get the passport. So what I started doing is I started practicing going to the bedroom. I would go when parents are not there, he's not there, go to the bedroom, look for the key, open the drawer, see my passport is there, it's there, okay, lock it, go back. I would do this like 2-3 times and my heart would be racing. Why was I doing it? Because I'm like, when the time comes, if the opportunity comes, I need to know where the passport is. I need to know where the key is. I need to get it and go. This is, again, practice. Lots of practice happening here.
Yes, the rehearsal for the big day.
Yeah. And finally one day, and I tell you, you'll understand why my faith in God never died, is that he tells me, we have a conference to go to in the US. So I have a visa, you don't. So we need to apply for your visa. I said, okay. And we apply for it. But of course, he doesn't want me to go with him. So when we apply for the visa, he never gives me any financial statements, nothing. He just tells me, yeah, just fill up the form. We take your passport. Here's my passport. You can tell the lady at the counter that your husband has a visa to the States, and you should also get a visa. And in my head, I'm like,
But why is he doing so? I mean, why this burden of telling you that you have to come with me and then
because his parents
not making
want.
the documents complete? Just for the picture.
Yes.
But he knows that you're going to be rejected if you don't
Exactly.
apply as you should do
Yes.
with the right documents and full documents.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I go there, obviously rejected. Woman thinks I'm crazy. I go back. Parents, father especially, is fuming. He's like, what were you thinking to go without financial documents? And so again, I had to try again. So I don't think he expected that his dad would tell him, apply again. So this time when I applied, I didn't pick the next date. I think there was availability 2-3 days later. I picked 2 weeks later.
Yes.
And I just kept the passport with me. And nobody asked me for 2 days. I realized that no one's asking me about my passport. So I tell my friend, I said, I have my passport. I've put the appointment date 2 weeks from now. So I have 2 weeks. I said, I don't know when he's going to remember and ask for my passport and take it back, but it's with me. So that's when she books a ticket for the following weekend. And the weekend at that time was Friday in Dubai. It was a holiday. And that's when we had a church service. And so the plan was that I would say that I'm not feeling well and stay home while he went. And then I would leave at that point. But the day I said that, he wasn't believing. He didn't care. He's like, no, you have to come with me to church. I don't care if you're sick. You have to come with me. I'm like, okay. And he was away in the morning. He went somewhere. And what I'm doing with my laptop, I am trying to jam it. Because I don't want him to
see any evidence that you're leaving
again.
He will kill you at that point.
Yes. So I put some seed. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to mess the laptop up. And I think I succeeded because he couldn't find anything. Okay. And finally, I went that day. I put the passport in my pocket. I went to church just like a normal pastor's wife. We went. The service starts. Suddenly, he's missing. So the plan was that, okay, when he goes in front and he's on the mic, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to the bathroom.
And then run away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best
moment.
But he's missing. And I'm asking the person who's also, there were like 2-3 people who were helping. And I'm like, where is he? He's like, I don't know. I can't find him. I've gone everywhere. He can't find him. And I'm waiting and time is running out. And I'm like, Anna, just go. Just go. Like, if you see him, you can pretend, say you're going to the bathroom.
But where were he at then?
He was actually in an office in the church building. He was in an office speaking to people. And this was very unusual because people usually never come at that time to speak to the pastor. They come into the service.
God sent them.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I can think. And he was with them for like some good time. And that's when I got out, went to the back, got in the car. I was ballistic. I was crying. I don't even know what I was saying in the car. I went to the airport. Every time I got to the airport, I had a black scarf with me, so I was covering my head. I kept looking behind. I'm like, he's coming. He's coming. I was like, he is coming. And I go to check in. A friend said she was going to meet me there. She worked for the airline. She was not there. I went to immigration. I'm like, heart is beating. I'm like, did he reach the police by now? Will they stop me at immigration? Got through. Got to the boarding gate. Flight is delayed.
And this is a horror movie. This is suspense.
And it's Emirates Airlines, which never gets delayed. But it got delayed. And I was like, this is, why is this happening?
But why would it occur to him that you are there? Maybe
No,
it wouldn't occur to him. Okay.
For me, I'm thinking worst case
Yes,
scenario.
because you are under fear.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So finally I get on the plane and it takes off. And I'm like, I'm free. It's happening. And I was just crying. I did not eat. I didn't do anything. The entire flight, I'm just crying. Crying why? And this is so funny. I'm crying because I'm feeling bad. Bad for who? Bad for my mom, bad for him, bad for his family, bad for the entire church. Like, look, you left them. Look, how could you do this? But I'm crying. But at the same time, like, I'm not going back. So it was more like a crying of grief that this has happened. We're going ahead. People are going to feel things, but you are not going back. But it's funny how psychologically, even at that point, you are not thinking of yourself, but you're thinking more about the impact you getting away for your freedom has, the impact on other people.
You messed up again.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the Stockholm, I guess, syndrome. We call it the Stockholm syndrome, that you're used to the abuse or used to the environment of find excuses or you blame yourself for leaving the person who abused you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the people that wouldn't listen properly, like your parents, for example, because they don't know how to deal with such cases. Not to blame them for. But Anna, what you described, this sneaking inside the room, training from room to a room, opening the drawer in certain time of minutes so I can test if I can reach there, measuring the distance to the airport. This is like it's like an intelligent institution job. Intelligence institution job. It's like working for the FBI.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to do this and that in this short time.
Yeah.
It's like doing a mission on a national level. I mean, it's too much. Living under fear and the details.
Yeah.
I can imagine how your hands are shaking when you open these drawers. I can imagine it's good that you didn't put any cameras in the at home.
Yes.
But what I learned from you that his father accepts the taking away from you your passports also. That he has maybe parents that are telling him this is what should be done.
Yes.
Women, they refer to us in all their movements.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. But tell me now, flying, having all this grief inside you, asking yourself questions if you did the right thing. Maybe you're wrong to what you did to your husband, leaving him like this, like as if you're stealing or something, running away from him. What will be people talking about this?
Yeah.
Saying what?
Yeah.
I escaped with someone, or I escaped. This is more ruin to the reputation of the family. A woman that did a huge step.
Yeah.
But still, when you're in the plane, it's not like the final line in romantic stories. They lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Did you live happily ever after this moment?
No. I was scared. What I can tell you is that imagine you're a blind person and you've never seen light. And then you see light for the first time.
All at once.
And it's too much and it's scary and you're just like, give me some dark glasses because it's just too bright. That was me. Freedom was scary. Freedom was so scary because for 6 years I'm isolated. I'm not living a normal life. I'm not interacting with people, socializing. I don't have agency in my own life where I'm doing things independently as an adult woman would do. And suddenly now, you've thrown me into the world, or I've thrown myself out into the world, and I need to start living real life. And I'm not equipped. Don't know anything. So, no, it was not easy. It was not happily ever after. And let's not forget the impact of all of that 6 years of abuse plus the childhood. So you have an impact on mental health as well. And that was another battle.
You're now a trauma coach against domestic abuse.
Yes.
So you know how to coach ladies to do the same series, suspense series that you did before at home. You know how to guide them. You played the role of the hero in your life, this woman that saved you.
Yes.
I want to thank her for that. Yes. And tell me, did you ever try mental health? Seeing someone, consulting someone?
I did.
Did it help? You feel you still need it now? How many years have passed since the divorce?
It's been, I think, about 12 years, 11 or 12 years.
First of all, did he show up again?
No.
Why do you think he didn't?
He tried to find me, but using his father. So they filed a missing persons report in India, and they wanted to bring me back. He told the church that I went on holiday.
Okay.
But the holiday obviously was going too long, and they wanted to bring me back. But thankfully, I was associated with or being taken care of by a nonprofit, so that even if you pay the police under the table, I don't know if they did that it would not work. Because when the police called the nonprofit, they're like, this is a domestic violence case.
So the organization protected you after this last chapter?
Yes.
He didn't try to call you or talk to you?
He tried to call me.
Crying or something like that?
Before he got engaged to his current wife. And he wanted...
God be with her.
Yeah, God be with her indeed. And he said... He called crying. Of course he called crying. He was like, I'm so sorry about what I did to you. And guess what? I fell for it. I didn't do anything. Don't worry, I didn't go back. But I fell for it. I was like, oh, he's finally sorry. And suddenly I felt so much of suddenly I felt some good feelings towards him. But guess what he does? That entire thing obviously is a play, is not real. Because at that time, he is messaging the person who he was in a relationship with, telling her that, don't talk to Anna, she's an evil person. And at that point, he has abandoned her as well, because now he's getting engaged to someone else.
You're talking about the girl that he was
Yes.
abusing before?
Yes.
She tried to reach you also?
She did.
According to his orders?
No.
By herself?
By herself, because he left her as well.
Because she realized she's dealing with home.
Yes.
Yes.
And he picked her friend to marry instead of her.
Was she a minor too?
She wasn't a minor.
Before she was, at that time where he wanted to marry her, she's not a minor anymore.
No.
But he picked her friend after
Yes.
doing all what he did to her.
Yes.
Sexually and
Yeah.
abusing her and using her as a spy.
Yes.
And she realized what you were going through when you left.
Yes.
And when he left her.
Yes.
So what did she try to understand from you? Did she contact you?
She contacted me.
What does she want to say?
She wanted to tell me that this is what he did to her, that, he left her, and she vomited everything out and told me things that he did to her in the past. And I believed 100% because everything matched whatever I was sensing and feeling at the time. She sent me lots of screenshots. She was very vulnerable and very open with me because that's how broken she was. And that's the realization she was having, that, oh my God, what have I done? And what has he done to me? And what is happening here? And so she was in that stage where he was working very hard to bring her back. But there was another person she reached out, which was me. And I am like, I am not letting you go back. Like, I don't care if you hurt me as a child or whatever. A lot of people ask me, how can you help her? She caused you so much pain. And I'm like, no.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, she was a child.
She's controlled.
I said, I forgive her, whatever. Do I even have to forgive her? Because she did everything because she was asked to do it and she was a child.
Because you started healing, Anna, as well.
Yes.
Because you're away from him.
Yes.
You can see better.
Yeah.
But I want to know something out of curiosity. I don't know if you can explain it to me. Mm-hmm. From a psychological side, how come that this man gave up on women that he can abuse easily? I mean, I'm talking about the girl.
Yeah.
That he can abuse easily, that she can stay silent, that she wanted him to continue, in a way, his relationship with her, despite everything that is ugly in this relationship.
Yeah.
And he wants to follow this one who dared to leave. Now he focused on you. I mean, he doesn't give up on all his possessions.
No.
he give up on the possession that he takes for granted. He sticks to the possession that dare to leave. He wants to prove something for himself all the time.
Yes. He's scared about his reputation. Basically, he's like, if I let her go, then she's also going to be the second person who confirms what Anna has been saying.
Yes.
And so now if this happens, then everyone's going to believe it. So I cannot let that happen.
Did you do any mental treatment or psychological treatment with anyone after this story?
I did. I went to see a therapist. I have gotten on medication. I'm still on medication till today.
After 12 years?
Yes.
So the trauma is still there somehow.
Of course. It's like...
So now you found the right guy.
I have.
And I like this, that you didn't have this regular complex from men, for example, or even I read that you once said, I don't have any complex against men after my story with my ex-husband.
Yeah.
What I have is a suspicion and change of perception against religious symbols or men.
Yes.
This was very bold to say.
Thank you.
It seems the religious package is the most mean trap. It was the most mean trap to take you there.
Yes, it was.
And you know it deep down.
Yes.
It's a unique story, you know?
It is. But if I'm being honest, it is something that a lot of people are going through. But again, because there is the backstory of it being connected to religion, people are stuck in that confusion of, is it abuse or is it not? Just because you have religion, that one word there. And then there are those who are scared because...
And he plays it well.
Exactly, because they know how good they are at lying. That they're like, if I tell people, they're not going to believe me, so why should I? Why should I add more trouble to my life? And they're all traumatized. They're all so... It is sad at how traumatized people get and how it impacts their life after that. And I always give this illustration, which is like, if you go through a car crash, you know, what happens is a lot of things can happen. Either you can break your ribs, your bones, you can hit your head somewhere, and what happens? You go to a hospital. If you need surgery, you get surgery done. If you need to be in ICU, you're in ICU. Whatever you need is done. You need physiotherapy after that? Done. So one split second of a car crash causes that much of trouble to your body, and you have to go through, say, months of treatment and therapy, and finally you're okay. So imagine if 1 second causes that much of trauma, how much trauma is caused by, for example, 6 years of an internal car crash. And it's happening again and again. You're not healed, but the car is crashing into you again and again and again. So 6 years of that may take a lifetime to heal. And
you think you'll take a lifetime to heal?
I think so.
But I see, you mentioned that not driving until now.
Yeah, I don't drive.
It's one of the consequences. That means a lot at the end. If you want to really dissect it, it means a lot.
Yes.
Because you're still afraid of that moment. You still cannot overcome this point where you did the accident with him.
Yeah.
It took you long, though you're having therapy.
Yes.
I mean, it might break the road towards a better, brighter day. I don't know. What other consequences he left? We're talking about trauma that is still there.
Yeah.
What other things that is left? You see it in your behavior. You see it in looking to people. You are afraid of certain words, of certain gestures.
So
it reminds you of what you have been through, or reminds you even of him.
It's all what you can put under what we call complex PTSD is what I was diagnosed with.
Post-traumatic
yes, and it's very similar to
disorder.
PTSD, which is what originated from soldiers going to war.
Yes.
And so
what happens to you after the dramatic event?
Yes. And so that's pretty much the diagnosis that I have. And under that diagnosis, there are so many different symptoms. So One is depression. So for me, I have heavy depression. Like today was a good day where I got out of bed, I came, I was excited, I had energy. But there are days where even now, and I'm not ashamed, even though I have the title of a coach, to say that there are some days where it's very difficult for me to get out of bed.
This makes you credible, I guess. This is very good to be honest at this point. Coaches are not people that live without pain.
No, we're not.
On the contrary, you're being honest, but you're still stuck somewhere in the pain.
I wouldn't say I'm stuck with the pain, but I'll say that the pain is moving with me.
Yes.
And
is it getting better day by day?
It is.
But it's taking its time.
It takes its time. It takes its own time. We always say healing is not a linear process, which means that you can take 10 steps ahead. Suddenly you'll go 5 steps back. You get up, you start again, you go. So it's like you're on this road, you go front, you go back, again you go ahead, but you keep going forward. But that doesn't mean that if there are people who may say that, yeah, I'm fully healed, and great for them. I'm so happy for them, and it's a blessing. I say that with all my heart. But there are some people, if I have to be honest, we live with the trauma because it's a lot. And it affects people differently. Like every individual is different. Every individual has a different blueprint, a different childhood, different circumstances. And so it affects you differently. And so even the healing process takes different paths.
But now that you're here, do you forgive? I mean, not him. Mm-hmm. Maybe your mom. Mm-hmm. Maybe your friends that didn't do much. Maybe anyone that you told what you're going through and did nothing.
I don't know what the meaning of forgiveness is, if I'm being honest. Because if I've heard it from the spiritual or religious point of view, it's like it's you making that effort to say it's okay, it's done, or let it go. But I can say those words. I can sit down, I can pray to God and say, I forgive them. But if I really look inside my heart and check in with my feelings and how I feel towards that person, and if I'm still feeling pain and anger, animosity, I haven't forgiven them. And so
you don't have to.
I don't have to.
You don't have to pressure yourself to reach there. I'm just asking, after all these years, did you forgive at least, or did your parents reach a place where now they understood the picture, or they didn't yet? Did they say sorry to you? Did they apologize to you?
My dad did. My mom didn't. She's never accepted that I went through what I went through. Even till today, if I talk about it, which I don't talk about much, she'll say, well, God knows what happened. And that's really tough for me to, hear her say, because when I was a kid, I was there for her and I would go running to help her. But when I went and cried for help, I didn't get the help I needed from the person who I rescued or I was there for. So, but to answer your question, no, she's never apologized. And if I'm not mistaken, she does keep in touch with him sometimes. Or if not him, his current wife. Yeah.
Why do you think she does so?
Because she still believes that what I did was wrong.
Was something that brought shame to the family, or what is she trying to do? To compensate to him, talking to him nicely,
because
for what her daughter did.
She believes that he's a good man. She believes that maybe she doesn't believe half of what I said. Maybe she thinks I'm lying. Maybe how I left, it was dramatic. It affected people. It affected the people who helped me, the church, them, the reputation. I don't know. It's like a big shame that you created such a drama and you left. Well, of course I did, because nobody else was helping me. When I was coming the straight way, I asked in a normal way, can you help me? You did nothing. So I asked the church. I went through a lot of very normal methods. So I was like a beggar on the street without food. What will you do? You'll steal. You're starving. You'll steal. Even if you say you won't steal, you put yourself in that situation, you will steal. And that's what I did. Desperate measures. And I
But
did
you
what
want
I
her
had to do.
specifically. You said your father apologized. He apologized for what he did during your childhood, or he apologized for not listening to what you went through in the marriage? I mean, which type of apology was his?
He apologized for what he did, and he apologized that because of what he did,
He pushed you indirectly to this
yes,
choice.
He said, I know that you went there because of this. And he hates him. And it's ironic because my dad was once an abuser.
Yes.
But he's the one understanding me today. It's crazy.
I can't understand her, but maybe she's pressured by culture. I don't know what she has as complexes. Maybe she wanted you to stay where she stayed, or maybe she sees that you took a big step. Maybe she wanted you obedient all the time. I don't know what's the complex, but it shows that this is the point that is most painful still inside your heart. I mean, this person specifically not understanding you, your mother.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about him now?
I don't know much. I know that he's married. I know he supposedly treats his wife really well. I know why he does that too.
Or maybe to prove that you're guilty.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly that. And
so not because he wants God to be happy about it, nor because he realized that he was wrong.
no.
Maybe because he wanted to show everybody that you're the one who's guilty.
Yes.
And you destroyed the reputation and the family and the
Yes.
future of this
Yes.
whole world and community,
and look
just
how
because of what you did.
He's come out as a triumphant person, and everyone can just feel so proud of him.
How long did you stay afraid of him after divorce? I mean, he accepted to do divorce later on.
Yeah.
Okay. But how long have you stayed afraid from him, afraid of him?
I think for about a year. I was like, he's coming to get me. Like, he'll send someone, he'll send some goons to come. I was like, I don't know what he's capable of. He's capable of anything.
Yes, I can imagine what you think about him. But I want to go back to Mr. Better, let's say, or Mr. Right. Now, it's good that you dared to know a man again. Mm-hmm. Usually we need to heal from a previous experience. So you have two experiences, one with the father and one with an ex-husband, which makes it really hard to jump into a relationship and believe it's going to work.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
He's someone that I've known since childhood. And so it was easier to build that connection. And for me, funny enough, a lot of women who I speak to and coach would tell me that after they've gotten out of an abusive relationship, they are scared of getting into another relationship. But for me, it was the other way around, where it was like the abuse was making that vessel of love more and more empty. So the need to be loved was even more strong. So it's like, oh, I got abused. Oh, I need more love now.
But this time with open eyes. This time with more clarity needed to make the step.
Definitely clarity. But I would say that it still took me some time to understand what a healthy relationship is. And I learned it after getting married. I didn't learn it that time. I was still blind, but I'm lucky, to be honest, that I didn't get myself into trouble again.
Yes, because I have chosen right this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if I'm being honest, because at that point, what was in my head was, oh, if a person doesn't abuse you, they're good.
Yes, as if it's enough You start accepting the least because you've been through the
Yes.
worst.
And I had to unlearn that. I still learn who I am. I'm still discovering that today.
That you deserve more. It's not just having a safe place, maybe having the happy place. Or
Yes. And also
Yes.
about who I am as a person.
You decided to speak up, as we say. You decided to say it all loudly. This will help a lot of women going through the same game or the same disaster, let's say.
Yeah.
It's a game to the aggressor.
Yes.
The game of dominance. I don't know
Yes.
what's complex is it. But I don't know what's complex it is. But if I want to say that if you had children, would you dare to talk about this everywhere? I mean, you're a symbol now of someone. Speaking about it will help a lot of people. I really admire that about you. But if you had kids, many women are watching us. Maybe they are going through the same problem. And having kids stops them from taking action. What would you say? You would have talked. You would have
Absolutely.
You would have escaped.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because why would one want to have their kids see that as a role model? Put them in that situation where they are suffering. Why? What did they do to deserve that? It's not worth it to just have a title as father there. No. You need a real father there. If you're causing more harm than good, why be there? And that child is so precious, and everything that child becomes is going to be based on those days. So how? I could never see myself doing that I would want to leave even more. I know it would be more difficult because living with a child or children is not easy at all because you have more things to consider. You have more limitations. But the question you're asking is, would I have left? Would I have spoken up? Absolutely.
I mean, mommy speaking about my dad.
Yes, mommy wants you to know.
On a media platform. People would think that this can be embarrassing. This maybe can be doing it the right way. I mean, consulting even people that they know about how to say it. Maybe it would teach your kids to stand up for themselves also.
Absolutely. And know what a healthy relationship is. Know what to accept and not to accept. You know, if you keep your child in an environment where abuse and violence prevails, then they're going to grow up and that's what they're going to invite into their life as well, because that's what they know. You know, if we're learning alphabets in school, we're also learning a lot of other things as a child. We're picking up on actions of our parents. We're learning everything. The brain is forming itself, and those are the most crucial years.
Yes.
So yes, it's so important to model to your child what a good relationship is. You know, what is acceptable, what is not. And once you do that, automatically, if mom doesn't accept abuse, they know to be standing up for themselves when someone comes and tries to act funny with them.
I want to end this beautiful conversation with you that is really bold and really impactful and lovely and pushes us all to think in different ways and looking at things in different angles and not lying to ourselves when we're living relationships that are dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
Dangerous on all levels.
absolutely.
Saying that you're a coach for domestic violence issues.
Yeah.
And still consulting for mental health. This is a big lesson to all of us. Having tears in your eyes while we speak doesn't reduce your strength and your face. It empowers them. I love your honesty. I've loved the way you spoke about your story. And I think it's a story that will stay on the mind of whoever is listening to us today.
I hope it does. And I think even if it impacts one person, gives them strength and gives them hope that, you know, there is life after abuse and they do not have to settle. They do not have to blame themselves. That's all that matters. Yeah.
I want to invite whoever feels that he has a story or she has a story that can impact people, or whoever who wants information regarding mental health to subscribe in THERA Podcast to hear more about our stories and directions to reach really a safe place, as we say. I need to know your mother's name. What's her name?
My mom's name?
Yes.
Liza.
Liza. Liza, you have raised a bold girl, a courageous girl. I hope you listen to this episode and reconsider. I will cry saying this. I want to change it. Wait. Her name is Liza. I don't want you to leave the last word to you. Okay?
That's fine.
Liza, you raised a bold girl. I need you to think again of what you're doing. Save what's remaining in your lives, because Anna deserves a better attitude and a better behavior and a better way coming from you, looking at her true story and at her heart. She's an amazing woman.
Thank you.
Sorry for doing that.
No.
I want to keep it. Do you mind me keeping it?
Absolutely. It's totally fine.
Do you want to say anything to her?
I think you've said more than I could find words to say right now. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
It was lovely.